Welcome to our innovative marketing highlight presented by myself, Ashleigh McNaughton, and my valuable team members, Emily Pendleton and Campbell Biggs. The aim of this presentation is to introduce Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign and discuss why it was an innovative and an original marketing highlight. Today, we will be discussing Coca-Cola's marketing strategies internally and externally and how these were used within the Share a Coke campaign. We will also be discussing the key marketing concepts used in this campaign, which include the marketing mix, the target market, and marketing segmentation.
Last September, in the dead of night, the world's most iconic brand did the unthinkable and took an entire country by surprise. 150 of Australia's most popular names appeared on millions of bottles of Coke. Why? Because in the previous month alone, 50% of teens and young adults hadn't even tasted a Coke. We had to reconnect with Australia, so we decided to get personal. The internet blew up straight away, but we kept quiet. And while the buzz grew and grew, we recruited our fans and made them the face of our campaign. Then, on Australia's highest rated media weekend, we came clean and invited Australians all over to share a Coke.
Kate and Kate, the two Kates. Classy Kate. Crazy Kate. If you know a Kate, share a Coke with Kate, or Mel, or Dave, or Jay.
Our message was everywhere, digitally and interactively at Sydney's iconic Coke billboard. Whichever way you turned, it was you and your friends up in lights. The media instantly took notice. Blogs lit up. Australia had fallen in love.
Coca-Cola.
Sharing a Coke.
Thousands of requests poured in for more names, but we were ready. With kiosks where you could get any name printed on a Coke can. People couldn't get enough, queuing for hours. But the requests kept flooding in. So we put it to a vote and asked Australia who they wanted to share a Coke with most. And after 65,000 people got their say, 50 new names were released. We invited everyone to share a Coke, and share they did. Whether old or young, drinkers or non-drinkers, friends searched for names, tagged one another, shared stories. Australians everywhere were once more connecting over the world's most iconic brand. And with the holidays looming, we celebrated and shared a Coke with a friend who brings a smile to every face. In just 3 short months, 5% more people were drinking Coke. Sales transactions grew by 3%. Volume increased by 4%, and 870% increase in Facebook traffic, 12,020,000 earned media impressions, 76,000 virtual Coke cans shared, 378,000 extra Coke cans printed at kiosks, and one country painted red. With one simple tweak to a label, Coke once again became part of popular culture.
Marketing segmentation enables brands to define the appropriate products for different kinds of customers. Coca-Cola doesn't target a specific segment as a whole company, but adapts its marketing strategy by developing new products targeted at different audiences. Coca-Cola identified that 50% of young adults and teens had not tried Coke, so they needed to establish a product campaign that could connect to that 50% of the market. This is when they introduced the Share a Coke campaign. The campaign was pure genius and was targeted at the remaining 50% of young teens and adults that would get the buzz from having their names on the Coke bottles and encourage them to try the product for the very first time. When developing the marketing segments, Coca-Cola would have needed to take into consideration a number of factors to ensure that they would reach their accurate target market. I'll now be discussing with you these segments and how they've affected the campaign. The first segment is the geographic segment. Geographic segmentation is a common strategy used to access a particular target market based on their location. The marketing approach is used for small businesses that need to access a large demographic customer base in local or regional areas. The Share a Coke campaign, which rolled out in 20 countries within months, displays the most popular names in each country on Coca-Cola bottle labels, triggering personal interactions and engagement with the brand on a personal level. The campaign was targeted initially to the first 20 countries, with the plans of reaching the nation on a global level. The second segment is demographic. Demographic segmentation is segmented according to age, race, religion, gender, income, and education. Demographics are segmented into particular markets to help a company reach their target audience accurately. Generally, Coke does not have a specific target and is addressed to everyone. However, in this particular campaign, the Share a Coke campaign, the main consumers were people between 12 to 30 years old, essentially targeting the teens and young adult demographic. The Share a Coke campaign was not based on a gender, but the results do show us that both male and female like Coca-Cola and use it almost 50-50. The next segmentation is a psychographic segmentation. Psychographic segmentation is used to divide your market into segments based around the consumer's personalities, attitudes, interests, and their lifestyles. This type of segmentation is used to engage with your market in a focused manner. Coca-Cola products are sold to a diverse amount of people all around the world. In our world today, people want to live healthier and happier lives. Coca-Cola recognized this and began to produce products like Diet Coke and Coke Zero to access this market and satisfy those consumers. Coca-Cola is purchased by many different classes of people, but generally by middle to high classes. Coca-Cola also ensures that they are gaining trust and confidence with their consumers by being environmentally friendly. They do that in a number of ways. The Share a Coke campaign showed attention to the education of the consumers, and the company used this to convey messages to people with high educations. The company is a well-known brand with a lot of trust in the marketplace, so most consumers would drink it without hesitation. The final market segmentation is behavioural. The behavioural segmentation focuses on the behavioural patterns of consumers, which enables companies to better understand their target market. Coca-Cola needed to identify habits and particular buying behaviours of young teens and adults within the Share a Coke campaign. They understand that young target audiences of the brand love the media exposure, so they ensure that they use social media to connect with the audience. They use things such as Instagram hashtags, Facebook shares, and public forums to reach this market. They also knew that the younger generation liked being surprised, so they'd get a buzz out of having their name on a Coke bottle, which they could share with their friends and family, and they could surprise one of their friends and family once they had found their name on that bottle. It is very important to understand your business's market position before you can create an effective brand for your business, product, or service. Determining your position in the marketplace takes a number of things into consideration. You need to figure out your point of difference and your competitive advantage from your other competitors. You need to identify who your competition is in the market. You need to identify your value to customers and how you're going to attract your consumers' wants and needs. You need to decide which customers you serve best and how you're going to segment your market to those customers. Coca-Cola has strategically positioned itself within the global carbonated soft drink market. The brand understands and follows the principle, think global, act local. Coca-Cola has always kept its main core products, but has adapted to the market changes and provided products to meet different consumers' needs. They use certain positioning techniques to enable themselves to keep the same image all around the world, which is a continued success. This perception of the brand by the consumer leads to a high degree of loyalty and makes the purchasing decision more automatic. Coca-Cola has been successful by selling campaigns like the Share a Coke campaign to do this. Consumers associate the brand with emotion, and when they think of Coke, they automatically think of fun and happiness. When consumers think of the Share a Coke campaign, they instantly think of fun and happiness, and the personalisation of the product and how it relates to them, their friends, and their family.
This campaign seems simple, but it was the marketing process that made it innovative and successful. Coca-Cola kept quiet about the idea and didn't release any advertisements about it until after they appeared in stores. This created a stir amongst young people everywhere because it was unexpected. People started posting all over social media about it, messages asking why there are names on Coke bottles and pictures of people holding a can or bottle with their name. These were the sorts of messages that were causing a massive stir amongst young Australians, perfectly executing the target market. The idea was original because it connects with the consumer from eye level rather than from above. Coke is a very well-known brand internationally, and because of this, they wanted to come back down and meet consumers at a level where they feel they are being related to. They also realised that with the 150 names, as well as labels like Mum and Dad, they were only meeting 42% of the country's population. That's why, rather than putting only names, they made it Share a Coke. This way, the offer extends further than being solely directed at people with those specific names. By writing Share a Coke, it turns into a social invitation as well, making it an original idea. The consumer decision-making process played a big part in the campaign. Factors such as cost, efficiency, personal preference, and alternative products come into play, as spoken about before. Consumers who are already loyal Coke drinkers were likely to choose a Coke with a Share a Coke label because it was fun and new. However, the consumers that were really targeted were those who didn't drink Coke often, or even those who had never tried one before. Stumbling across a friend or family member's name on a Coke can trigger a consumer to buy a Coke for someone even if they themselves don't drink it. To conclude, Coke successfully created a campaign that was innovative and original by targeting their market and successfully raising their sales by 5%. Thank you for listening to our market highlight presentation.